You must be a good swimmer to everyone is having affairs. You'll get rich. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and today we are going to be going through some of the biggest misconceptions about working on board a cruise ship. But before we start, please press like and subscribe for more cruise ship content. And if you have any video suggestions or questions, you can leave them in the comments down below, or you can DM me over on Instagram at Cruising as Crew. But as for now, let's get into the video. I asked you all on Instagram to send over your assumptions about working on board a cruise ship. And firstly, thank you so much to everyone who sent their assumptions. There are some crackers. I had a good laugh reading them. And yeah, we're going to go through them today and see what you think about working on a cruise ship. So the most popular one by an absolute mile was, you don't work, you're just paid to be on holiday. Basically, it's an easy job. You're just being paid to travel the world. You don't do anything. And I was like, oh honey, I wish. This could not be further from the truth. And to be honest, I suppose it is crew members' fault, because what we post on social media is not being in the stockroom at 6 AM collecting delivery, or counting how many t-shirts there are, or cleaning. It's not going to be that. What we post on social media is going to be us lying on the beach, us having a selfie on the cruise ship with a cocktail in our hand. So we only have ourselves to blame really for this assumption. If you've watched my videos, you will know that that is not the case. And yeah, you actually work incredibly hard when you work on a cruise ship. It's definitely a work hard, play hard kind of environment. You have to play hard to get over the fact that you're working like a Trojan most of the time. I'm afraid this assumption is definitely incorrect. I really wish it wasn't, but it is. Another popular one is, you'll get rich. You make loads of money, you're super wealthy, you have so much money, you earn so much money. And I must say actually, like coming home, you see people that you used to go to school with when you go to the pub when it's not COVID. And people do assume that you're doing really well for yourself. And I do think, once again, this comes from social media, because they see you posting all of these pictures in these really exotic places. You're always on the beach, you're always somewhere new. And your instant thought process is, wow, they must be doing really well for themselves to afford to go to all these incredible places, when in fact the actuality of it is, I'm not paying to go there, I just happen to work on a cruise ship that is going to these great places. So I completely understand why people think that crew members do incredibly well for themselves. But the truth is, especially if you're from the UK, America, Australia, you are going to earn probably the same amount of money that you could earn working on land. It's only if you're from a country where your exchange rate to the dollar is going to work out very beneficial for you, where you can earn a lot more money on a cruise ship as opposed to at home. But yeah, I mean, if you're from the UK, I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but you are going to be earning a very normal wage. It's a lovely way to earn that normal wage. I would much prefer to be earning it on a cruise ship than in an office, but I am not rich, I am not extremely wealthy. So yeah, wrong again, I'm afraid. There aren't a lot of food options in the mess. Honestly, it depends on the ship. Some are better than others. I have personally never struggled on finding something to eat. And I'm veggie, so that makes things a little bit more limited, and I've not struggled. What I would say about the mess, there is a lot of option, but it's just not amazing. The passenger restaurants are incredible, but when it comes to the mess, the crew food, it's definitely quantity over quality. So you are actually going to have a lot of options, but it's going to be average. It'll be edible and it'll be quite nice, but it will just be average. It's never going to like blow your socks off. Passengers who cruise are super rich. So there is still a stigma that people who cruise are rich, because obviously years ago that used to be the case. It was only very, very wealthy people who could afford to go on cruise ships. However, now because it's become more popular, it's also become more affordable. So obviously, you know, your passengers that are going on Saga, Crystal, Silversea, they're going to be very financially comfortable. Whereas if you're cruising on Royal Caribbean, Carnival, MSC, they're a lot more affordable, so you don't have to be extremely wealthy to be able to cruise on one of those ships. Now, I'm not saying it's a cheap holiday by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not going to be like a £30,000 holiday. Sharing a cabin is an awful experience. It completely depends on your roommate. I've had both. I've had incredible experiences with roommates where we've just laughed the whole time and got along like a house on fire. And I've had people who I'm like, I could take or leave you. But I'm gonna say the majority of the time, it's okay. In my 5 years at sea, there are very few people who despise their roommate. You know, maybe they're not like best of friends, but you'll be surprised. Some of the best living situations I've had has been with people who aren't actually my friends, but we are compatible living together. Because as I've said in the roommate video, you can be best friends with someone, but that doesn't mean that you're going to enjoy living together. I lived with one of my best friends and we bloody hated each other. I mean, we didn't, we're still really good friends now. But the point is, we know not to live together again. Generally, it's not awful. You're going to be okay sharing a cabin. Wrong again, I'm afraid, guys. Crew parties are amazing. Oh my God, we got one right. We got one right. Yeah, they are. They're amazing. Some of the best nights of my life have been on a cruise ship, in crew bar, at a crew party. They are just so great for multiple reasons. I'll link another video for you why crew bar is so great. But yeah, you're right. Crew parties are the shit. A lot of gossip goes on between crew members. Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, just like any work situation, people gossip. The way that you stop that is by not telling people your business and not gossiping yourself. You are right, there is a lot of gossip between crew members, but you can control it when it comes to you by just staying out of it. You get lots of free stuff. Yeah, you do actually. And Hannah put this, so thanks Hannah. I have never thought about this before, but when she put that, I really thought about it. I was like, oh my God, yeah, I've actually got loads of free stuff over the years. On Royal Caribbean, I got an iPad. I think that was for Christmas. On Virgin, I got like a straw, sunglasses. I actually got a Virgin case. They gave every crew member a Virgin Voyages case, which was really cool. And lots of other stuff. So yeah, actually, over my time on cruise ships, I've got a lot of free stuff just for being a crew member, which is really nice. So yes, you are right. Everyone is having affairs. Yeah, like some people do. There are some crew members who obviously have partners at home and, you know, they come on board, maybe they're doing a 6-9 month contract. You get close to someone, you form a relationship, and whether you emotionally or physically cheat on your partner back home, it happens. I'm not going to say everyone's having an affair, but yeah, it 100% happens. There will be 1 or 2 people on your cruise ship that are, you know, being unfaithful, but it's none of my business. I don't need to know about it. But yes, you are right, I suppose it does happen. So this one is from Andy, and it's, you can get off in whatever port you want to get off in. And unfortunately, this isn't true for a few reasons. You could be working, you know, maybe you're docking in Venice, but you have a shift in Venice, so obviously you can't just be like, I'm getting off, guys. I'm like, no, you're working. And also visas, certain nationalities need certain visas to be able to get off into certain countries. When the Scarlet Lady finally reached Miami, everyone had to queue up and get an American visa before you were allowed to get off anywhere. So you need to have the right visa, and you need to obviously have time off from work to be able to get off in whatever port you want. There was 2 ladies that put, it's not safe to work on cruise ships for women. I did message them back and ask them to elaborate, but they haven't got back to me in time before filming this. I have never had a problem. I've never felt unsafe. I don't know in what context they mean, whether to do with the guys on board, to do with getting off and seeing the world, but I'm assuming it's to do with the guys on board. But overall, I would say it's a very safe environment. Obviously, you have to look after yourself just like you would in any situation. No, it's very safe for females to work on board. Thousands of females work on board. If it was unsafe, they wouldn't. You have 0 expenses when you are on board. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to go and do a food shop. You don't have to pay to do laundry. You don't have bills to pay, like heating and stuff. So it's true in that sense. However, you probably will end up paying for Wi-Fi unless you end up on a cruise line that gives you free Wi-Fi like Virgin. You will probably end up buying stuff from the cruise shop on board. But no, I mean, actually, apart from Wi-Fi, which I consider as a necessity, you don't have anything that you have to pay for when you're working on board, which is brilliant because it gives you the opportunity to save as much money as you can. You get paid on your vacation between contracts. It completely depends on what job you do on board. Every department offers different contracts. So, for example, if you are a captain, they are paid on their vacation as well. An engineer, an officer. I think some casino staff, depending on what company they work for, they are paid at home as well. So this is right for some people and wrong for others. It just completely depends on who you work for and what contract you have. You will go over the drinking limit at least once during your contract. Yes. Unless you don't drink, yeah, you will, because the drinking limit is like 1 beer. So you're probably going to go over it at least once or twice or 3 times. The salary depends on which country you are coming from. It does. Unfortunately, it does. And it's unfair. If you are from Indonesia, you're going to earn less than an American person would. Not because you work less, you're any less good of an employee. It's just, you know, the world is unfair. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. So I'm very sad to say that you're right. This is good. You must be a good swimmer to work on board a cruise ship. You know what? I would have said so as well before I worked on cruise ship, but no, you would be surprised the amount of people I've met, passengers and crew members, who can't swim. I remember Shasha, one of my roommates, we went out and I was trying to teach her how to swim, and I was like, but you work on a ship? And she was like, well, yeah, but I'm not a swimmer. I was like, yeah. I mean, I suppose in an ideal world, you're never going to have to swim because the ship's going to stay afloat. So this one is wrong. But I can definitely see why you think that. You do not have to be able to swim to work on a cruise ship. Everyone would go if it was as good as they say it is. So everyone would work on a cruise ship if it was as good as they say it was. No, I disagree actually. I believe it is as good as I'm saying it is. I love it. I think the reason people don't do it is because it's terrifying. If you're in your comfort zone, you're living on land, you have an office job, you have, you know, a stable income coming in, it's very hard to uproot your life to go and live on a ship. I think that's why a lot of people don't do it. And also people have responsibilities, you know, if you've got children or you've got a mother that you need to take care of, you can't just up and leave and go and work on a ship. So I think there's a lot of reasons why people don't do it. So it's 50-50, it just depends on the person. The majority of the time you get crappy roommates. I know I've already covered this, but I just want to say, you never get a crappy roommate. You just get someone that you're not compatible with. It doesn't mean, you know, they're a bad person, you're a bad person. You just don't mesh well together. But no, you never get a crappy roommate. You just get someone who you don't mesh well with. You spent nights up on open deck looking at the stars. Yes, you are right, I did. There were many nights, well, not many actually, there was like 2 or 3. I needed my sleep. I work very hard when I'm on board. But there were a few nights where me and a few mates would stay on open deck in the crew area and just look at the stars, because obviously if you're in the middle of the ocean, no light pollution, the stars are insane. So yeah, that is another one of the perks of working on a cruise ship. You will see stars like you have never seen them before. Everyone sleeps with everyone. I mean, there's a limited amount of people on board. So there's only so many people you can choose from. So yeah, it does become a bit incestuous, I suppose. You're away from home for a long period of time. You're forming really strong bonds with these people. The relationships you create on cruise ships are very intense. You could have known someone for 2 weeks but feel like you've known them for 3 years. I mean, you are probably going to end up being in a relationship with someone at some point. Some people are more promiscuous than others. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. You only get to see small parts of each port. This is true if you are on a world cruise and you're only going to that destination like once. Yeah, you only get like 2, 3, 4, 6 hours, so you're not going to see a huge portion of it. However, if you are going to that place multiple times, then over those times you will see probably a great amount of that time. So it depends on the itinerary of the cruise ship you're on. But yes, for the most part, you are right. You only like to party and drink. I don't know whether this is for me or to crew members in general, but I'm going to take it as if it's for me. no, if I only liked to party and drink, then that's what I'd do. But I work very hard on a cruise ship. I love working hard. I love my job. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a party. I love a drink. I love a good boogie. But I also love the job. And because I think you have to love the job because you are working the majority of the time. So if you absolutely despise your job, there are other ways that you can party and drink. Go and work in Ibiza. But no, I think you're wrong on that one. I do like a party, I do like a drink, but I also enjoy my job. You have to deal with annoying passengers all the time. No, as I said, not very often. Maybe like once a month you'll get a passenger who really ruins your day, but it's not all the time at all. You have to do crew drills very infrequently. This is wrong. We have to do crew drills a lot so that we have it completely drilled into us what to do if the ship goes into a state of emergency. You'd have the passenger drill and you'd have the crew drill in a week. I'm just comparing it to P&O Oceania. You'd have a drill twice a week at least. Well, thank you so much for sending me your assumptions. I really, really enjoyed doing this video. I really like it when you guys are more involved with it, so maybe I'll do more things like this. So once again, if you have any suggestions, make sure you let me know. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.